In the vast, uncharted territory of human imagination, there are stories that refuse to fade, legends that whisper to us from the depths of time. But among them all, one name echoes with a unique power. Atlantis, a lost city, a utopian civilization of demigods, an island paradise of impossible wealth and technology, swallowed by the sea in a single, catastrophic day. For over 2,000 years, the story of Atlantis has captivated explorers, historians, and dreamers alike. But was it ever real? Did a continent truly vanish beneath the waves? Or is it merely the greatest story never told, a ghost in the pages of history, designed not to tell us about the past, but to warn us about our future? Join us as we dive deep into the abyss of history, sift through the evidence, and attempt to uncover the truth behind the legendary Lost City of Atlantis. Our journey doesn't begin with sonar scans or deep-sea submarines. It begins in ancient Athens, around 360 BC, with one of the most influential thinkers in all of history, the philosopher Plato. Every single mention of Atlantis in the ancient world traces back to just two of his works, the dialogues Timaeus and Critias. This isn't a myth passed down through countless cultures. It's a story told by one man. In his writings, Plato, through the voice of the character Critias, recounts a tale he claims was passed down from the great Athenian statesman, Solon, who in turn heard it from Egyptian priests. The tale described an island nation, larger than Libya and Asia combined, situated beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, the gateway to the vast Atlantic Ocean. This was Atlantis, a jewel of the ancient world. Plato paints a vivid picture of a confederation of 10 kingdoms, founded by Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea, and his mortal lover, Cleito. Their descendants were a race of noble, virtuous people. Their land was rich with precious metals, exotic wildlife, including elephants, and abundant crops. At the heart of the capital city was a magnificent temple to Poseidon, covered in silver, with pinnacles of gold. The city itself was an engineering marvel, a series of concentric rings of land and water, connected by massive canals and tunnels large enough for ships to sail through, leading right to the central palace. It was a perfectly harmonious blend of nature and technology. But this golden age was not to last. As Plato tells it, the divine nature of the Atlanteans began to dilute over generations. They grew ambitious, corrupt, and filled with unrighteous avarice and power. They waged war, conquering parts of Europe and Africa, and eventually set their sights on Athens itself. But the Athenians, though outnumbered, heroically repelled the invasion. And then came the judgment of the gods. Plato's words are chilling. There occurred violent earthquakes and floods, and in a single day and night of misfortune, the island of Atlantis in like manner was swallowed up by the sea and disappeared. Plato's story ends there. His dialogue, Critias, is left unfinished. He gives us this incredible, detailed account, and then silence. He never says where to find it. And so, the hunt began. For centuries, most scholars dismissed Atlantis as a fable. But in the late 19th century, with the rise of archaeology and a renewed interest in ancient myths, the question was asked in earnest: what if Plato was describing a real place? The most compelling and scientifically supported theory takes us not to the Atlantic, but to the Mediterranean, to the beautiful Greek island of Santorini. Today, Santorini is a crescent-shaped jewel, famous for its whitewashed villages clinging to volcanic cliffs. But 3,600 years ago, it was a single, round island called Thera, and it was home to a vibrant and advanced civilization, the Minoans. The Minoans, centered on the nearby island of Crete, were not Greek, but a distinct culture. They were remarkable artists and engineers, with grand palaces, stunning frescoes, and a powerful navy. They fit the description of a sophisticated, seafaring people. Around 1600 BC, the volcano at the heart of Thera erupted with unimaginable force. It was one of the largest volcanic events in human history, hundreds of times more powerful than the bomb that struck Hiroshima. The eruption blew the center of the island apart, creating the caldera we see today. It triggered colossal tsunamis that would have decimated the coastlines of Crete and other nearby islands, crippling the Minoan civilization. A powerful empire, seemingly vanishing overnight. Could this be the real event that inspired Plato's story? A memory of the Minoan collapse, passed down through generations for over 1,000 years, eventually reaching Egyptian priests, and then Solon? The parallels are tantalizing. The destruction by sea, the loss of an advanced culture, it's a near-perfect fit. But it's not the only theory. Thousands of miles away, beneath the turquoise waters of the Caribbean, another candidate emerged. In 1968, a pilot flying over the Bahamas spotted a remarkable formation off the coast of the island of Bimini. It appeared to be a submerged road or wall, nearly half a mile long, made of massive, rectangular limestone blocks. It became known as the Bimini Road. The discovery electrified the Atlantis hunting community. It was in the Atlantic, where Plato said it would be. Its discovery also coincided with the prophecies of the American psychic Edgar Cayce, who had predicted in the 1930s that evidence of Atlantis would be found near Bimini in 68 or 69. For many, this was proof. Divers flocked to the site, claiming to find other structures and artifacts. But science has offered a more sober explanation. Geologists have extensively studied the Bimini Road, and the consensus is that it is a natural phenomenon known as beach rock, limestone that fractured over time into uncannily geometric shapes. There are no tool marks, no supporting structures, just nature's powerful and sometimes deceptive artistry. And the list of potential sites goes on. From the marshlands of southern Spain, believed by some to be the ancient city-state of Tartessos, to the snowy plains of Antarctica or the submerged Doggerland in the North Sea. The map of the search for Atlantis is a map of human hope itself. But after centuries of searching, not one shred of definitive physical evidence has ever been found. No golden temples, no concentric canals. So perhaps we've been asking the wrong question. Not where is Atlantis, but what is Atlantis? Most historians and philosophers today agree that Plato was not writing history. He was creating an allegory, a cautionary tale for the Athens of his day. Think about it. He presents Atlantis as the perfect society, blessed by the gods, that rots from the inside out. They become arrogant, materialistic, and imperialistic. They are a mirror image of everything Plato feared Athens could become. In his story, it is the small, virtuous, idealized version of ancient Athens that defeats the corrupt superpower. Atlantis isn't a memory of a real past. It's a warning for a potential future. It's a political and moral fable about the dangers of hubris and the consequences of losing your way. The story is a vessel for one of the oldest themes in human civilization, the fallen utopia, the Garden of Eden, the Tower of Babel, a story of a perfect world lost to human failing. And this is why it continues to fascinate us, thousands of years later. The idea of Atlantis speaks to a deep part of our collective soul, a yearning for a lost golden age, the hope that humanity was once better, wiser, or more advanced than we are now. It represents the tantalizing possibility that there are still great wonders left to be discovered, that the ocean, which covers over 70% of our planet, still holds profound secrets. So, the lost city of Atlantis is likely just that, lost, because it was never a physical place to be found on a map. It is a city of ideas. Its foundations are not stone, but the words of a brilliant philosopher. Its treasures are not gold and silver, but the moral lessons it contains. It may have been inspired by real events, like the destruction of the Minoans. It may have been fueled by wishful thinking and a desire for mystery. But its true location is not in the sea, but in our minds. It remains a timeless and powerful myth, reminding us of the delicate balance between civilization and nature, between power and humility, between greatness and ruin. And so the search will continue, not with ships and sonar, but with stories and speculation. For the legend of Atlantis is a reflection of ourselves, our highest aspirations, and our deepest fears. A story that will be told and retold as long as we dare to dream of what lies beneath the surface.